Hey everyone, my name is Unerv Serene and I'm a commercial pilot, although I don't fly for the airlines, and I'm a landscape photographer. Over the last few years, I have seen endless photos from Lofoten and just the incredible beauty that the place has to offer, but I've never had a chance to go there on my own. So for the next 7 to 10 days, I'm going to go with my entire camera kit all the way to Norway to capture some incredible landscape photography. I hope to document this entire process using these videos. I've never done this before and I'm really excited to capture the next 10 days on video to see how everything looks. The journey all the way from New York to Oslo, from Oslo to the Lofoten Islands, as well as some behind the scenes of some of the best photography sites and some of the best photography locations probably in the world. So stay tuned. I would love to take you along as part of this journey and really excited for the next couple of days. Well, we have just finished up the dinner service on this aircraft and this first leg of the trip. I'm flying from Newark to Oslo at the moment, and this is an interesting experience for me. While I'm used to flying some incredible airlines and incredible business class products, this is effectively a single aisle airplane, which is interesting because I've actually never flown one of these transatlantic. The airplane is honestly very uninspiring, and the food service and the service has just been really not great, especially for the price point. This did end up being fairly more expensive, but it was also the only direct flight over to Oslo. So let's say we've got about 5 hours left on the flight. I'm hoping to catch a little bit of sleep because we do arrive into Oslo at 8 o'clock in the morning. So see you tomorrow. Alright, finally made it to Oslo train station. The airport Oslo train station. This is the first time I'm traveling without my kid or my family in a long time, and especially doing an adventure trip. You kind of forget that it's okay to take it a little bit easy. So I got off the plane, collected my luggage, and just went down to figure out public transport. Because honestly, there's no reason to go grab an Uber, grab a taxi, and spend the insane amounts of money that it takes to get to the hotel. The plan for today is to get to the hotel. Hopefully they'll let me in. It's only about 9:25 in the morning, and my check-in is not until 3. So let's see what happens. I'm definitely happy to pay so that I can get some rest. I'm going to spend a night in Oslo, go check out the spa at the hotel. They have an awesome sauna and steam and things like that, so really curious to go check that out. And then go on the hunt for Indian food. My wife and I were here about 6-7 years ago on Christmas Eve, and we had the best possible Indian food that we could have. So really curious to go see if that place is still in existence, and honestly just walk around. The goal is not to really sleep. I'll definitely get a little bit of rest, but not to sleep so that I can get adjusted to jet lag and just make my way over to Lofoten tomorrow. So for now, I'm going to get on the train, get to the city, just get over to where I need to be. We just boarded the train on the way to the city. I boarded the quiet car, which is why I am whispering quietly. But this is such a beautiful train ride. Just snow everywhere, very quiet, very beautiful. Just untouched snow. So I'm really looking forward to it. And let's see where the state takes us. Welcome to Oslo. Finally made it to my hotel room, which was actually really easy to take the train. It only took me about 20-25 minutes on the train, and then I took an Uber because I had a lot of luggage, even though we're only really going about 1 kilometer. So that was about 11 bucks for that, and about $22, I think, for the train. So a pretty easy and comfortable ride all the way here. This time around, I usually stay at Hyatt's, but there are no Hyatts in Oslo, and I didn't really want to stay at my backup, which is Marriott. So I am staying at one of the best hotels here called The Thief. I'm going to go take a nap for a little bit and then go start exploring the city. I have been to Oslo. This is probably my fourth time here, but I've never really had a chance to go out and spend some alone time and do any sort of photography work here. So I'm really excited for that, and looking forward to it. So nap time and then go exploration time. So yeah. Well, that was a fun sunset, and it's still fascinating to me that despite me coming here for a couple of years, and not just Norway, but just overall the Nordic area, that people love jumping into freezing cold water and just enjoying themselves. That's awesome. So I'm going to order an Uber now, head over to the Thief, get in to the spa for a little bit, and just make my way back down. All right, well, just wrapped up dinner at Jaipur, which was honestly incredible. And as always, there was a wait over there, which just tells you how good that Indian food place is. So it's been an awesome night. It's been an incredible day. All right, finally made it to Oslo Airport. It was a little bit of a chaotic morning, but not as bad as I expected it to. As a traveling photographer, I usually carry a lot of camera gear, drones, a whole bunch of stuff. And what I found is usually in Europe and Asia, that tends to be a little bit of a problem with carry-on luggage. But thankfully, I paid for whatever economy seating that they had here, and it turned out to be a non-event. The plan today is to fly not to Lofoten, but one of the islands nearby, and then just drive from there. I have my car rental set up over there, and I am just going to pick up my car and drive. Usually it's about a 3-hour drive if the road conditions are clear. There is a little bit of snow, so I'm anticipating that it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, but that is all part of the adventure. The goal is to stop, take photos, fly the drone, grab a bite to eat, and then just make it all the way down to Lofoten, at least to my Airbnb, by sunset. So really looking forward to it, and this is where the adventure travel begins. Welcome. Welcome to Lofoten, or in fact, the place that I picked up the car from. So the airport is, the code is EVE, and I decided to come here instead of going directly to Lofoten. It is a very, very, very long flight, especially in the winter, to get to Lofoten. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly because I've said it now a few times to some of the locals here, and they all correct me. So my apologies if that is incorrect. So we're here. I picked up my car. I got a really nice Volvo through Priceline. Honestly, a pretty good deal. The car is rented through Sixt. It's really, really nice. It's really comfortable. The one thing I did not realize is that instead of this being a 3-hour trip, as I alluded to earlier, Google Maps is already showing that this is going to be about 5 hours. My plan was to stop along the way, go to a couple of lakes and take some photos, but with this traffic, and it is almost 12 o'clock, my goal is now to grab some coffee from the gas station, maybe grab a couple of things to eat, a couple of snacks for the road trip, and then try to make it all the way down to my Airbnb without stopping. Realistically, that's not going to be possible, but I do need to try and get all the way there since it is a fairly long drive. It's not long distance wise, it's just time wise is fairly lengthy. So I'm looking forward to it. I will kind of update as things go along, and I'm sure I will be stopping along the way as well, especially as I come across different places that just look scenic. My plan is to fly the drone maybe a couple of times and see how that goes. But for now, let's gun it all the way down to where we're staying, and then we'll see what happens along the way. Let's go for a road trip. I was supposed to be probably double my distance right now, but in the last couple of hours, I've only gone about 80 kilometers because everything and the scenery here is just so stunning. I mean, this is only the drive up there. I know there's a lot of recommendations to go directly to Lofoten and kind of start your adventure there, but I would highly recommend starting the adventure at the further away airport so that you can kind of go through and just drive all of this. This is, I mean, just insanely beautiful. The roads are clear. It's not super hard to drive any of this. The people are nice, and it's just been a fantastic journey so far. This is just off of some random bridge. It is also another parking lot on the side of a road, and it is just absolutely stunning. The sun is golden. It's not even close to setting just yet. It's still got another hour or so before it sets, and it is absolutely beautiful. So, I think I should have probably, booked another intermediate stay on the way to the Lofoten and just taking a break. But I think that's what I'm going to do on my way back from Lofoten, back to the airport, and then to Oslo on my way out. But this is just such a incredible scenic place so far. Right. Well, thanks to my need to stop at every photo spot along the way, and I still didn't manage to hit every single one because it got really cloudy and then it got really dark. So I have now stopped at a restaurant that is not too far away from where I am staying, hoping to grab a bite because it is almost 6:30, but it is pitch dark. So I'm going to pick up some food or eat some food here. And then find a grocery store, grab a bottle of wine or something, and then just make it over to my Airbnb. My delicately packed camera kit and kind of bags are all over the place since I had to take out a bunch of lenses and cameras and all the fun stuff to go out and actually take some photos. So excited for a real meal and a sit-down meal for today, since I had to do lunch and breakfast and everything on the move. But super excited to check this place out and just go from there. Well, I may not be at the right place because this does not open up. Yeah, but I should also probably read either this sign that says restaurant or follow that sign up that says restaurant. So let's go figure out where is actually the restaurant. Alright, back up we go. Hopefully we don't fall here because the snow is pretty slippery. Alright, let's go. Still a sign that says restaurant, so going the right way. Ironically, I just parked my car all the way up here. So let's see, restaurant, where? Maybe it's that sign there. That also says restaurant right there. I guess we'll keep following the sign and see where we end up here. Alright, so that's what it was. Had to walk all the way down towards this little thing. And I do see people here, but I also see that this might be a potentially an awesome photography spot, which we'll try out tomorrow. So let's first go in, grab a beer, get some food, and get started with eating because I am starving right now. Well, didn't expect to eat Mexican food today, especially since I ate Indian food yesterday. So, but it was delicious. Very expensive though. It's probably the most expensive Indian food I've had. About $100 with a beer. So that's intense. But it was good. I'm hoping to go back and have some real Nordic food once I get back to my next day. So let's try to find this Airbnb now. It's been a long day and I am ready to wipe out. So something interesting just happened. I tried to buy beer at the gas station, and the only reason I was buying it at the gas station was because all the grocery stores are closed. But they wouldn't sell me any beer at the gas station because apparently you're not allowed to buy liquor or alcohol of any sorts on Sundays. I'm curious if that's just an off-season thing or if that's all the time. But it's, I'll just have to go to the Airbnb now. All right. This is not bad. Oh, let's get a library. There's a light switch here. Okay, maybe these are the lights. All right, this will do. It's a living room, small little kitchen, and a bedroom. All right, this should do just fine. Well, there's one thing to be said about sunrise and sunset photography. If you show up early, you get incredible views. I mean, look at that. Wow. And then I'm here taking photos of this legendary landscape. One thing to be careful is I am wearing crampons here. Because if you don't wear crampons, you will start slipping and sliding in the snow, which is really no good. You can take a look at the shot here. It is, I mean, this is why we come all the way so far away to take incredible photos of this incredible landscape. I am just in awe right now. Well, this is funny and also a little bit annoying that I just dropped one of my big cameras all the way down here. It was on a tripod. I may have just pushed it through and pushed it over, which is really annoying. And yes, I know I'm doing the millennial thing by recording this, but I gotta go get it now. Good luck. Well, just came all the way up from down there. Camera's not too bad. It's got a little bit of snow in here, but this is why you buy pro equipment that is weather sealed. Well, I guess I don't really need coffee anymore because that woke me up. Also a good reminder that you should always be very careful with your surroundings. That's mostly a note to self. I've probably 15 years I've been doing this. I've never managed to drop a camera off of anything, at least that severe. It could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. But it wasn't. So I'm just gonna go to the car, dry this thing up, and then move on to the next location. Actually, I should find some coffee. finally find my coffee. And I also picked up a sandwich at the gas station again because none of the restaurants are open until probably 1 o'clock today again. Even though I am standing sitting down at the gas station that's right across from the restaurant. So I'm just going to take a minute to breathe, catch my breath, and enjoy my coffee and see what happens. Cheers. All right. Walking around the town now, next to the Fisherman's Pier, and a couple of interesting things in sights here. First and foremost, there is a Tesla charger in the middle of nowhere, which is awesome, because even while driving in the US, and I've got a Tesla, while I don't really run into too many range issues, it's awesome to see kind of how deep this thing is and how quickly you can get to some of the different places and just charge your car. It's been pretty impressive. The second thing is, right behind me are these fishermen's racks. So basically what they're used for is to dry cod once the season starts. And I was hoping that there would be some of them right now, but there aren't any hanging at the moment. But basically you would take the fish, hang them here, and you would, it still smells a little fishy, but it's kind of incredible that they have all these racks out here in the public, and just, you can hang your fish here. All right. That town that I was in, Rain, was awesome, but I really wanted to go eat at a restaurant, and unfortunately none of the places over there were open until 1. So what I did is I decided to go souvenir shopping, and I came to this store called the Lofoten store. But as I'm pulling up, I also had to get some gas, and gas was not cheap. It was almost 700 kroner, which is about $70 US, and that's only for half a tank. But it's all good. It's like I wanted to fill up before I had to do any more driving, since you never know what's going to happen out in the wilderness. It's not the wilderness. So let's go check out the store. All right, that didn't really have anything that I wanted, so I'm going to go to the store behind me and check that out. It looks like an actual shopping center, based on what I have been able to translate, at least based on the parking signs here. Well, they weren't lying. You really cannot buy alcohol on Sundays. Huh. Fascinating. I don't know if cinnamon rolls are a thing or not in Norway, but it is awesome. The smell of fresh cinnamon rolls. Let me see if I can find them. Well, unfortunately, didn't get any food, but I did get beer, I got some peanuts, and I got coffee. So now I'm actually going to find an open restaurant and figure out if I can go there quickly, because I am starting to get very hungry. I also could not figure out where those cinnamon rolls came from, but they smelled incredible. But as soon as I said that out loud, the smell went away. So maybe it's a sign. So time to go look for some lunch, because it is about 2 o'clock. Well, and the adventure continues. I tried to go to the one place that said it was open on Google Maps. There's a Lofoten Surf School, and after walking around this whole place, turns out that it is actually closed. Although Google does show that it is open. I am starting to get really hungry now, and I do need to figure out where I can grab some food, because this is not cutting it. So I guess we'll drive around to one more place and see what happens. And just go from there. I'm just looking out. It looks like there's a lot of people surfing in the winter, which is awesome. I know there are people who love Arctic surfing, and this is probably what that is. So really excited for those who love it, and curious now about food, and then I'll come check this thing out again. Well, the food saga continues. It's about 4 o'clock, and after I did my last session, recording about not being able to find food after the surf lodge was closed, I was actually able to turn around and I did go to the beach and took some decent photos. The only annoying part was that there are way too many photographers here, and specifically on that beach. I think I counted, I don't know, a good 25 at least, all taking up the same spot, which doesn't really inspire any sort of kind of creativity or any sort of unique images. So we'll see how tomorrow transpires, but probably do a morning shoot, do an afternoon shoot, go take a nap, come back for the evening shoots, go have dinner, and call it a day. So. Good morning. It's already 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm headed to my first sunrise location of the day. It is a little bit far away, but as you can see from the background, I don't think the sun is really going to rise, at least in the colorful way that I need it to, which is totally fine. So we're going to use this time to really go explore some of the more remote beaches and capture some of this really dramatic landscape that we have. So you can see it's like the clouds are super low, but I don't know if you can see the water, but the water is so clear, even with all the storminess. Usually when it's this stormy, you see the waves moving up and down and everything kind of being a little rough, but this is just really, really beautiful. And I'm hoping that some of the places that I'm going to should also be fairly clear, since this weather does not really inspire most people to come out, but I would not be surprised if there are still about a dozen photographers over there. So let's get back on the road, let's make our way over and see how today plays out. See you then. Well, I just came back from that hike, and I feel like I am completely out of shape. That was really tough, even though it wasn't that far. And the snow was really deep, and the photos were not worth it. It is a complete whiteout condition right now. So, yeah, I don't think any more photography is going to happen, at least for a couple hours. So I'm going to go into town, the bigger town, Leknes, go find some coffee, find a bathroom, see if they have any better souvenir shops here, and then just honestly make my way home and do some reading. All right, a miracle has happened. I've got iced coffee in Leknes. I know it's crazy to be drinking iced coffee, especially when it looks like it's all snow around me. But I do love iced coffee, and I am glad to actually have it because I've had nothing but kind of terrible coffee or gas station coffee. Not that it's quite bad, but I just wanted some real iced coffee. And turns out this place over here is supposed to be one of the best coffees in the area. So I'm going to have that. I wanted to sit inside, but it is completely full and there is no room to sit. So I'm going to grab a bite in my car, and there is a store I want to check out. It's a place where my wife picks up a few things for my son. So I'm going to go there, see if they're open. They open at about 10, so it's only 9:30 right now. So I'm going to grab a bite, listen to some books, and then just make my way over there and see how it goes. But really incredible coffee, and the croissant also looks really, really fresh and soft. So excited to grab that bite and then make my way over to the store. All right, see ya. Okay, did all the shopping that was needed. Well, at least for Kai and also for the upcoming baby. We got a couple of clothes, a couple of toys, a couple of gifts. Now I am going to start making my way back to the Airbnb. I'm hoping this rain eases up because I really would like to go do some photography and not call it a wasted day. So we're going to try and stop by as many waypoints in the middle and see if we can grab a couple of shots. It is starting to clear up a little bit, but it is still raining and it is extremely cloudy still. So let's see what we can do. We're going to start driving back. It is about an hour and a half from here, but that's totally fine. We should be able to do it quite easily if there is no ongoing snow. Although the one thing about rain is it does convert into ice at these freezing temperatures. So you just have to be a little careful driving and to make sure that we avoid any specific puddles of water or just hidden ice that could be there. So let's make our way over. Let's head back and see what happens. See you then. Bye. All right, we're back at the Airbnb. It's about 1 o'clock, 1:30 actually. I was supposed to be back around 12, but the day ended up getting interesting because the clouds started popping up. Then we did a couple of photos along the way. And honestly, it's like what I was trying to figure out is like, should I be taking more photos? So I've got basically 4 days worth of photography planned. But with the weather being what it is today, I could only hit up 2 spots. And actually, I was able to hit up a few more through the drone. But the one main spot that I want to hit over the next 2 days, I just wanted to get some basic understanding of where to put the camera, what the lighting's going to be, what time I should be there. And I'm realizing 2 things. One is I have to be up really, really early. And this doesn't mean time of day, it just means the time of the actual photography time. So whether it's sunrise or sunset, I need to be there blue hour because it just does not look good with the sunrise or the sunset, specifically the yellow golden hue. So I do need to be there fairly early. The second thing is I do need to plan for kind of a bit more bad weather. It's been on and off pretty miserable today, and even the photo spots where you do expect to see a lot of photographers, the whole thing was just completely empty. Everything outside is also turning into slush, which is not great for anything because eventually, when the rain stops and the temperatures drop overnight, the whole thing is going to become ice. So just need to be really, really careful about that as well. So I'm gonna, relax here, grab a bite to eat. I did stop by the gas station again because I did like the sandwich a lot. Picked up a drink, so I'm just gonna hang out here in the Airbnb and just have that. And then later on today, I'm going to. I have a photography spot kind of in mind for today's sunset, which is going to happen in a town called Ah. I'm sure I'm not pronounced anything on this trip properly, but it's just basically an A with a symbol on it. So we're going to try for that tonight. Let's see how the weather holds up. And if not, just, call it an early night, go grab some dinner, and then start fresh again tomorrow, hoping that there is no rain coming. Although the forecast does show that there's a little bit of rain there. So let's see. We'll kind of go through everything. We'll figure out how things look and just go from there. Well, today has been an interesting day because unfortunately it has been, at least from a photography standpoint, a little bit of a kind of a wasted day, but still got some amazing shots or decent shots, especially thanks to the drone. But it's kind of all you can really expect when you're out in the wilderness. It's not something that you're controlling. It's not a studio. You're not building any of this, and nature happens. You can't really play with that. But on a positive note, I did have the best fish and chips I've had anywhere in the world just now in rain. It really was incredible. It was fresh, it was juicy, it was tender, and I am definitely going to be back to this place. It's one of the few places that's also open every single day and does open at 1 p.m. So I am going to come back. Let's see how tomorrow goes from a photography standpoint, but I'm going to come back and do that as well. So really excited for that. Well, so much so for my plan of waking up early in the morning or doing anything, because I woke up at 10:30 instead of 5:30. I had set my alarm but forgot to turn it on, which is kind of dumb. Especially since it looks like the light was actually okay this morning for photography. But I've been up and about for about 2 hours. It is about 12:30 now, and just trying to figure out the spots, because technically I only have about 3 photography windows left, or 4. I've got 2 more sunrises and 2 more sunsets over the next 48 hours. So let's see how today goes, and let's see what we're able to do. I am intrigued, though. I know Lofoten is a very popular place for photographers, but everywhere I go, it's like a dozen photographers with tripods everywhere. So I'm not sure if everyone is trying to take the same photo, if everyone is a paid professional, or if this is just for Instagram. So really curious to see kind of even how my photos turn out. Honestly, I got so turned off kind of midway through this morning. I left a lot of my camera gear behind to go out and just explore nature. So one of the benefits of self-exploration versus tour groups, and for the record, I've probably done one photo tour group ever, and will probably not do them ever again, is the fact that you can do honestly whatever you like and take detours and try to just find other opportunities for whether it's photography, exploration, whether it's cultural or whatever it may be. And this is a prime example of kind of where everything is. So the last location I was in was extremely busy. It was extremely crowded with not just tourists, but as I mentioned, photographers as well. And that's something that we want to avoid as much as possible. So now what I've done is I've come to this small little village. It was kind of along my drive to the surf camp, or the other side of town that I was going to, or the other side of the islands that I was going to. And I have seemed to stumble upon a museum right here, and some incredible viewpoints as well right behind the museum. So curious to go see, to first even see if they're open or not. And if they are open, we're going to go, just learn a little bit more about the culture, the people, the fun things here. So yeah, that's if you ever are in a position of just exploring without a destination in mind, in my experience, it produces kind of the best results and the best content and imagery, and you get to learn way more as well. So I would highly, highly recommend that if you get that chance. And here is the jackpot. So one of the things I showed earlier on in rain, I've heard it being pronounced a couple of different ways. It's just the fact that you have fish that's hanging off these wooden pillars, and the fish over there, or the pillars there, were pretty empty, and actually entirely empty, not pretty empty. But on this side, we've got them. So here we go. Well, that was an amazing find, an amazing scene, and an amazing pit stop, because after doing the museum, although the museum was closed, I got to see the fish, or the cod, hanging outside. I then walked around and found a fishing pier with a fishing boat, a sailing boat over there, and just incredible scenery in the background. I am so glad I made this pit stop, took a couple photos, and then I'm going to continue all the way down to the surf beach, which is where my original destination was. But I pulled off over to the side and decided to come here for a little bit, and it was definitely worth the pit stop. So let's make our way over to town, see what we can find, and grab a couple more shots and see if we can find some unique compositions. All right, see you there. So I was in the spot a couple of days ago, which is the surf region. And there were just way too many photographers, although I did join them and went to the beach and did some photography there. So I did go over there and grab a couple shots. I was not super happy with them. They were fairly monotone. But I'm back here today, and I see this amazing puddle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and capture the reflection of that mountain over there in that puddle over there, and see how that turns out. And honestly, it's like this is kind of the most fun I'm having as part of this adventure as well, is just discovering things that are new to me as well as to other people. I don't want to keep repeating the same shots that everyone else has focused on, and kind of, because at the end of the day, like even with the best photographers, what the outcome is going to be. And I don't really want to just do a copy and paste. I can buy those images for $5 a piece and then call it a day. But these are just unique opportunities where the elements are just right, the conditions are just right, it's moody enough, it's cloudy enough that it will give us an opportunity to just make this significantly better. So I am super excited about that, and just see how these photos turn out. So I'm going to go do that, and then after that I'm going to go grab some gas, get a bit of coffee for the day, my second cup of coffee, and then start making my way back down to Hemnøy. From what I've seen, if these conditions hold in the sky, you can see it's moody, the sun is dancing in and out, it's coming in and out. It is stunningly beautiful. So I have a feeling other photographers are going to notice that as well, and then going to be camping out at the bridge location fairly early on today, even though Blue Hour doesn't start until 5 o'clock. So it's only, I think, about 3 o'clock right now. Yep, it's exactly 3 on the dot, actually, which is awesome. So I'm going to spend another kind of hour getting down to Hemnøy. In the meantime, grab a sandwich, grab a coffee, whatever it is, and then just go all the way down and see what we can find. So let's get to it. Lots to do over the next couple hours. Well, I'm back at the Airbnb. It's been a few hours since I drove to the photography spot, and I was basically standing there for about an hour and a half trying to get the right shot over there. I think I got a few decent photos, but nothing I'm too particularly thrilled about. So I'm going to go back there tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning, and just again wait it out until 7:30. The only reason I try to go super early is because I also know that it gets really, really crowded. So I want to make sure I go there for the opportune time to get the right type of shots. Unfortunately, tomorrow is also the last full day in Lofoten. After that, we have to drive all the way back to where the airport was. We're going to do an overnight there before the 11 a.m. flight. I didn't want to drive all night in order to get to the airport. And really excited. I've got a few things that I want to check out in town as well. Hopefully some of that stuff is open, and we'll just see how it goes. So really excited. I'm going to go put all this stuff to charge and speak to you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. Well, didn't really start off good. Woke up at 5:45 in the morning to get the shot today. But at 5:42 in the morning, I opened my phone and I saw that I had a text from my mom saying that my grandfather passed away, which is really unfortunate. It's really hard to talk about these things. I'm not really sure how to talk about them. But being distracted and doing things that you can get away from or get away with has helped my case. So I did come here in the morning, tried to capture the same Hemnøy photo shoot location. The sun didn't really come out the way it was supposed to or the way I anticipated to. Again, on an island that's to be expected. So, didn't really get too many shots. Plus, the tripod was really shaky because of the winds. There were almost 40 miles an hour winds. So, it was a little bit of a disappointing morning, to say the least. All right. It is cold. My camera is wet. And it is an afternoon. So, I took a nap for a couple hours and read a book and made some coffee and all that fun stuff. Back at the Airbnb, and then I came out for lunch. As you can see, the weather is kind of terrible, but the lunch was fantastic. I picked up a few things inside Anita's Seafood, that's the name of the place. I picked up a few things, grabbed a little bit to go as well from a dessert standpoint, and I'm just going to try and hang out at the apartment until the weather blows over, because the weather is really bad. You can see just in the couple minutes I've been gone, the snow and ice is building up on the car. So let's see what happens. If nothing, it'll be a fun reading day. All right, see you back at the apartment. Well, the day is here, and good morning. We are all packed here. We're all cleaned here in the Airbnb, and it's now time to make our way back. So we're going to pretty much do a reverse journey all the way from here over to where we came from on the airport side, which is about a 5.5 hour drive away. The town is called Narvik. So we're going to go all the way back there. It is about a 5.5 hour drive, which means with stopping and starting and all the other stuff, it's going to be about 7 to 8 hours. And ironically, today the weather is incredible. So let's see kind of where we can stop along the way for some photography locations. I do have a couple of places plotted out on my map. So I'm going to go take a look at those, see where we end up, and just, you know, enjoy the last 48 hours of this trip. It is a little sad to kind of leave this place behind, but it's also been a really restful couple of days. I didn't get to do all the photography that I wanted to do. I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do. I didn't get to see everything that I wanted to see, thanks to basically 2 days of bad weather. But I am excited because we're just going to explore the journey, continue the road trip, and see what we can do in other parts of town. So let's get on the road. Let's dump all this stuff in the car. Let's pack up, and let's just go. I think it's going to be fun. All right, see you in the car. It's hard to see with all the sun and the shadows, but I am at my lake stop to take some photos here because the conditions honestly are just amazing today. It figures it would be on your last day and all that fun stuff, but I'm not complaining. It's we've got to keep the road trip busy. We've got to keep the road trip fun, and if we can capture amazing scenery along the way, I'm totally on for it. So right now, the drone is up in the air. It just went up. I'm using the car as a kind of a landing area pad zone. So let's, we'll just keep flying for a little bit and then go a little further up and just go to another destination after this. So let's go. It's really beautiful. It's really stunning. And I can't wait to just, continue this road trip here. Well, I did it. I stopped again. Honestly, the drive has just been so beautiful, and today's landscape has just been completely amazing that I don't even feel guilty anymore. It's right now 4:10, and I left at about 11 o'clock, so I've been driving for about 5 hours or so, which means I should have been there in the next half an hour to an hour. But at this rate, it looks like I will be there at around 7 o'clock, which is totally fine because the views are just absolutely beautiful. Before this stop, I stopped by a town where there is a very famous soccer field. So I flew the drone, got that footage up and running, and it was just absolutely stunning. I wish I had more time to spend in that town because it looked like a traditional European town in the middle of winter paradise. I really do wish I had a little bit more time to capture that and just go in and eat something and grab some of that, but I just didn't have time to do anything other than the drone flight. So honestly, just going to keep plugging away. This location where I am, I saw the moon coming up. Unfortunately, now it's hidden behind the clouds, but I saw the moon coming up and I decided to take a little bit of a turn to get in here and see if I could capture anything, but unfortunately that is gone. But we'll keep trying, and the sun is almost setting. It's pretty low on the horizon now. So we'll see if we get any last one or two photo opportunities here for this trip, because otherwise the next day is tomorrow we go to Oslo, and then after that we go back home. So let's keep plugging away and see what we end up. We are now at the end of the photography section of this trip. So if you see the back area, see a whole bunch of cameras and camera gear and support systems and all that fun stuff. That has been a huge part of this trip, but now it's time to pack all of this stuff up and just focus on the traveling experience now. So the plan is I'm going to unpack a lot of this stuff, unload all of this stuff, pack the camera bags, pack the camera gear, drag it all the way over to the hotel lobby, and then after that settle in for about 5-10 minutes and make my way over to hopefully some food. I am definitely starving. I have eaten nothing all day, which is fine. Honestly, the drive was amazing. I'm also listening to an audiobook, which was fascinating. This trip has been incredible for audiobooks because this is my third one. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be fun. So let me pack up and make my way over to kind of the next chapter.